On this episode of Missouri Life, we're on the road to Chariton County, where pecans are king of the hill. We meet an artist who can make a pilot out of anyone. And we get the scoop at Caitlin's Deli. All that and more coming up next on Missouri Life. Production support is provided by Missouri Life magazine and by viewers like you. Thank you. Welcome to another episode of Missouri Life. I'm your host, Meredith Haynes. Thanks so much for joining us as we discover Chariton County. Chariton County was cut from Howard County, Missouri's mother county. It likely got its name from the Chariton River, which got its name from a Frenchman who died discovering the river in 1795. Behind me is the confluence of the Chariton River and the Big Muddy. In 1804, the Lewis and Clark expedition explored this stretch of the Missouri River, which is now the southern border of Chariton County. Let's get our journey of discovery underway and find out what makes Chariton County proud. After a steamboat from St. Louis made it up the Missouri River to the confluence of the Chariton River, proving that the shallow waterway was actually navigable for trade and commerce, pioneers from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia arrived, bringing their culture with them. Industry took root in the form of hemp and tobacco. Many of the barns used for drying can still be seen today. When did Chariton County become Chariton County?
About 1821. The first town was at the juncture of the Chariton River and the Missouri River, which is just right up the river from Glasgow. So this Mr. Keat showed up, an Englishman, and he owned 30 acres. He decided to give it to the county as a courthouse, and other people moved in to support the courthouse, and that's how Keatsville became a town.
Just a few years later, James Keat went on to found Brunswick, named after his hometown in England. In the hopes of bringing the railroad into the area, Lucius Salisbury founded the town that bears his name in 1867.
He's from Vermont. His family, they seem to be fairly well-to-do, had a lot of money. He started kind of uptown where Broadway was, but then the Civil War showed up, so he just kind of stayed here and ran a little, I guess you call it bed and breakfast in those days. Served some meals in a stop-a-while type restaurant. And I think he was a mail carrier during the war, and he kind of became a judge also.
Located in Salisbury, the Chariton County Historical Society Museum has occupied the Old Fellows Hatchery since 1971, where incubators once stood. Visitors can now stroll through 5 adjoining buildings, housing thousands of historical artifacts, or search filing cabinets full of county records, whether on paper or microfilm. Some date back to the very first document signed in Chariton County. Let's talk about the museum.
Yes.
This is a very impressive setup that you have. Your collection is gigantic. Kind of walk us through everything, but not everything you have. We'll be here for hours if you do that. But kind of run us through all of the different avenues and sections that you guys have available for people to come and see.
Well, the museum started in '56 by another judge, Judge Bentley, and he acquired probably 30% or maybe more of the items in this museum. He had that mindset that he wanted to keep things before they were lost. After a while, once I started, we decided to use the pieces that we have to show people how they were actually used at home or used on the farm. They mean nothing just sitting there until you put some hands on it.
It's like you've staged it.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like you have a mini street. I mean, it's like you've condensed it. You've taken an old town and kind of condensed it and made it this quick tour of what life may have been like. What in the back, and most of these are like in the 1800s, most pieces that you have.
Probably 1900, maybe before World War II, probably things in World War I.
What do you hope visitors will take away when they leave here?
Well, I think they're going to take away the history that we've saved, and it's here for them to, free of charge, to take back home with them, to understand where they came from. You know, we all seem to have to know where we came from. We have to know